Search. Dreambound. There we go. Is the sizing still good? Yes. Yes, still good. It's a BL visual novel, so boys love visual novel. It's done by the same people who did A Date with Death. The one where you do like chat room dating with the Grim Reaper. Also a very cute game. I have played that one. It is sad thus far. It's true. Continue. Okay, I did save. Thank God. So I think we're doing flashback now. A Date with Death is so fun. I got, oh God, what is the like normal good ending, I guess. The one where you kind of end with Casper on the bed and you're like hovering over him. And then for 3 hours I fought to get the wedding ending. But we did eventually get there. I was just missing one fucking dialogue option that I kept skipping over, my dumbass. Ooh, neither can I. I supported the Kickstarter, so I'm even getting like an acrylic stand and some merch. I'm excited. But to this game, here we go. So we just had all that dream stuff with our brother. Until then. I do believe that's correct. Let me double check. Until then. Yeah. Same kind of style. Ish. Okay, close that. All right, so I'll be reading everything. So I block a little bit if the dialogue goes all the way over here, but I will read it. Okay, so as I was saying, we just had a moment where we were in our older brother's dream. Our older brother, who we're not in a good relationship with, but we kind of sort of reconciled a little bit. Got to learn a little bit about his life and the people in his life. And then we got out of the dream, and now we're doing like a flashback scene. Oh, shit. Hold on. Can't forget my guide. I have to have my guide up. Browser up there so I can see it. Where's my guide? Was that the trash? Okay, my guide. There it is. Oakley dokley. I love visual novels. It's like one of my breads and butter on this channel. I have another one I'm also still playing called Sifting Time, which I supported the Kickstarter for that one too. And it's really cute. It's like boys in a like culinary high school, very culinary based. At least I think it's a high school. It's been a while. But in this one, we're going for my boy Kaine. He is my target. He's our childhood friend. He's the one. He keeps breaking my heart too, because fucking our main character is just in love with another boy in their flashbacks. And it just kills me whenever I see Kaine like make a face, or he says something that if you just kind of like gloss over it, it's just like a normal thing to say. But in my vision, I'm like, oh yeah, he totally loves our main character, but he keeps getting just like ignored. Like his feelings keep getting ignored, and it kills me. It is hard to find good ones. You gotta find ones that like entertain. Ones that really like pull you into the story. Characters have to be great. Especially since you're gonna get a lot of like static images, and not a whole lot's gonna be like moving. There's not a lot of like high octane anything. So you gotta have like good writing, good imagery, good story, good characters, just a lot of good stuff to pull you in. Snacks, right? Men loving men, yes, yes, hell yes. Bring me a snack too. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So We started the flashback with our friends entering our classroom. So they're in our class again, which is nice. But this is still the aftermath. So, gentle sunlight fell through the canopy and onto the rocky mountain path, warming the two boys' faces as they walked silently. And Living Men is amazing. This is my totally unbiased opinion. I mean, it's the right opinion, so nothing wrong with that. Noah stood slightly behind Kaine, his eyes stuck to the ground. He couldn't think of anything to say, and by the looks of it, neither could Kaine. Oh, right, we just kind of like outright said that our parents were being assholes about Noah specifically. So now Noah has to kind of like chew on that information. His legs felt heavy, as if they were filled with lead, and his heart ached. Kaine, you're so handsome. Thanks, Kaine. Noah reached out and took hold of Kaine's sleeve, pulling the other boy to stop. He halted abruptly. Oh, I fucking said Noah again. I meant August. August had to chew on that information. I don't know why I always want to call August Noah. We are Noah. Oh, but Noah reached out and took a hold of Kaine's sleeve. Ah, that's so cute. We're getting there. We're slowly but surely getting there. It's no problem. Anyway, I haven't done anything yet. Oh, he's blushing. He's blushing. He's blushing. My heart just like fucking grew 10 sizes. I'm gonna have an embolism. Oh my god. No, thanks for always, you know, being there. Where else would I be? I just started. You can't come for me like this. You can't come for me like this. Noah's eyes finally left the ground. On Kaine's face was his classic charismatic grin, but his eyes were warm and kind. You're my best friend. You better not ever forget that. I mean, yeah, you can't come for me, but these two can come for each other later down the line when we're not sad anymore. You wouldn't let me forget that even if I wanted to. Damn straight. Or, well, not straight, but you know. I guess you're stuck with me. Guess so. Did we just get married? Feeling a little brighter, the two continued their trek. Quietly, Kaine's fingers traveled down to where Noah had held on just a moment before. Ugh. Kaine, you were so in love with Noah for so long. I'm gonna fucking die. I just started and I'm already gonna die. I'm gonna die live on stream. Welcome, new people. You're gonna see me die on stream. And my model just goes like, it's because I dead. It's because I dead. Yes. My brain cells are already leaving. Soon the rest of me will go with it. Noah. Before his mother could get a word in edgewise, Noah retreated to his room and slammed the door hard. Very much earned. His only wish was that he could lock it from the inside. You could always prop a chair in front of the door. A pointless act in itself, seeing as the door could be unlocked easily from the outside. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't jump scare me. Noah waited a moment with his ear to the door, waiting for the stomping of his mother coming to berate him for being so rude, but they never came. Shocking. With a sigh, he sunk down to the ground, resting his back against the door. I'm an idiot. Maybe I can make it up to him somehow. I could draw a picture of him. He does have that photo of me. Maybe that's too lame. With his mind still undecided, Noah stood from his wooden floor and made his way to his desk, carefully stepping over the cushions that sat on the ground. Collapsing on his chair with a spin, he stared at his room, furniture his parents chose, art on the walls that they'd placed there. A perfect picture showroom. But it never felt like his. It never felt like him. The only place that felt like home was here, at his desk, where his art books were. Oh. Oh, when you see an M dash at the end of a sentence, you know something's about to, like, occur to somebody. And it's usually not good. Where his art books were kept. Panic set in. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Did mom go into his room and fucking steal his art books? Because I'm about to stab a lady who doesn't exist. Have you seen that Alien Stage? Alien Stage. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I have merch for Alien Stage, like, bookmarked. For when I have money and I can actually buy it. No. This is relevant. Because those are the... What do they call it? The Doom Yaoi? That's why I see it called on YouTube. When somebody's like, oh, reacting to Doom Yaoi. And in parentheses, Alien Stage. I'm like, oh, yeah, great. I love Alien Stage. But it also makes sense, because sad gays in Alien Stage, and we got sad gays here in Dreambound, so it's relevant. Panic set in. Noah opened his drawers before jumping up to search through his backpack, but it was no use. He knew they weren't there. Fucking, I'm going to reach through my screen. I'm going to reach through my screen, and I'm gonna grab onto his parents, and I'm going to find, like, a wood chipper, and I'm gonna throw them in there. I don't know how I'm gonna make it happen, but I'm gonna make it happen. Where are they? Oh god, a knock finally sounded at his door. Noah, your brother is home. What the fuck do I care? His panic became a dread that settled in the bottom of his stomach, eating away at him. The relationship had always been rocky at best. It was almost as if he was a walking target to his brother, an overachiever in almost every field. Come out and greet him. Why the fuck do I care? Again. When Noah made no move to open the door, his mother did it for him. Her arms were crossed over her chest, crinkling the dark silk. Where did my art books go? Noah's words were blunt and accusatory, but his mother just shook her head. Wherever you left them, Noah. I don't believe that for a fucking second. Honestly, you should spend less time doodling and more studying. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Every single time his mother opens her fucking mouth. Because I don't remember the dad talking all that much, but I think he said some stuff. I think. I didn't like him either, of course. But we get mother more often than not. And I'm sure, God. I study plenty. Someone's moved my books. She is the worst. She's the worst. He has the worst parents. No one's moved them. Someone has. Don't you raise your voice with me. Oh, I'm getting triggered. I said no one's touched your books. Who would? You're the only one that cares about them. What's all this yelling about? A voice like the silk of their mother's shirt, smooth and slippery, came from down the hallway. Oh, Noah, happy to see me? Noah withdrew, his eyes wanting to settle on anything but his brother, but eventually he had no choice. With an emotionless voice, he answered, Welcome home. His voice held a kind of charisma that many people had fallen for, despite the iciness that hid behind it. Have you seen my sketchbooks? Sketchbooks? You're still wasting time with that stuff? Let me think. Asher paced back and forth in mock thought. Oh, were those the books on your desk? Oh, did this fucker do something with them? Oh my god, okay, he kind of redeemed himself the last thing that we saw him in. Am I going to hate him again? Oh my god. Yes, did you see them? Oh, that's too bad. Dad told me to take them out to take out the trash, so I thought you wouldn't want them. I'm going to stab him. But then again, his face. This expression right here. Is he being genuine? Because their dad's also an asshole, so I'd actually believe that. Or he could just be fucking with us. Thought you wouldn't want them. What? There might be time to get them back, I guess? Noah, it was an honest mistake. You need to forgive your brother. I don't need to do shit. It was no mistake. He did it on purpose. Noah, apologize. Fuck this. Her hand went to her mouth in shock. Where are they? In the bin outside? Oh, no, let me show you. Don't worry, Mom. I'll help him get them back. You're a good boy, Asher. A better son to me than some. Oh my god. This fucking woman. Not even a woman. She's just a bitch. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like, because when we were in Asher's dream, and we were kind of talking to Asher and sort of like getting, you know, a perspective from his side of things, I'm pretty sure the parents were almost like pitting them against each other. And so they wound up hating each other when they didn't have to, but because the parents were always like pitting them against each other in one way or another, they wound up hating each other. So I'm trying not to blame Asher too much, because the parents are awful. But God, I hate this family dynamic so much. The further his brother led them from their shared home, the more anxious Noah began to feel. All right, this will do. Oh God, what are you gonna do? All the charm had dropped out of his voice, replaced by a teasing sneer. He pointed further down the mountain. Oh God. Down there, if you look real close, what can you see? The river? He threw them in the river. Okay, okay. And I know he holds resentments against Noah because he thinks his parents give everything to Noah. Now knowing that that's his perspective. If we didn't get that perspective, I just want to fucking like chop this man into pieces and throw him in the river. But I'm trying not to get my like immediate reaction. Instead, I'm trying to like see this from the wider perspective. It's because he hates Noah because of what the parents have fucking done. It's all the parents' fault. Still hate that he did this. Doesn't really excuse his actions, but still. Bingo, enjoy getting those back, loser. One moment he was there, the next he was gone. His hands that had balled into fists at his side tightened before he punched a tree hard. A line of blood dripped down his hand and onto the bark. Fuck. Fucking asshole. With no time left to waste, Noah sprang into a run, racing towards the river. If his heart hadn't already been broken by the day's events, now it truly had. Stuck on the rocks and weeds of the river were his sketchbooks. Stray pages drifted around, obviously ripped out by someone. Ugh. Ugh. God. Yeah. Yeah. He needs a good fucking slap to the face. Good kick in the dick. Suffer for a bit. I still blame your parents for most of this, but also, you need to fucking know better. Noah swallowed hard, not sure whether to shout or cry, before he kicked off his shoes and jumped into the mostly calm river to retrieve what he could. The water was cold, made even more so by the quickly setting sun. It easily came up to his thighs, ruining his once perfect uniform. He reached out, desperate to save anything salvageable, but already many of the stray pages dissolved into his hands into mush. Ugh. Thank you for the lurk. God, if this were me, high school me, to see my sketchbooks thrown in a river, just like completely unsalvageable, I would probably just drown myself in the river. I was very vulnerable as a fucking high schooler. And as far as I can tell, Noah is too. God, this poor kid. Have you in my ears just gaming? No worries, no worries. Yeah, what you playing? Just when he felt like the tears would start, Noah heard a sound from behind. The gentle splashes of someone joining him. It's August. Of course it is. What are you doing? I'm helping you get your books back. There's no point. They're just stupid drawings. August shook his head. They're not stupid. August slowly waded through the water until he stood across from Noah. You're getting all wet. A little water never hurt anyone. Something, something, dripping with good looks. The first descendants. I don't know why that reminded me, but I've seen a few people play, God, what is it called? It's that Sun Wukong game. The Monkey King game. The graphics look amazing. It looks like a Souls-like game. Kind of really want to play it. I have it on my wish list. Gay panic, oh my god. Oh, you should have seen him, like, when we first got a flashback. He was so obviously having gay panic over August. It was kind of painful to watch. That's what someone said in a book I read once anyway. Black Myth, Wukong, yeah. Like, the style, the art style is like, oh, amazing. The character design's just like, I love the idea. It's very like Shadow of the Colossi. Colossi? Colossus? Shadow of the Colossus. But I do like just like a little character fighting like these giant mystical beings. Something about that just like gets to me. Plus it's like Chinese mythology. Hell yeah. I love anything that has to do with the fucking Monkey King. Same. Very much same. Lies of P is one that I've kind of like eyeballed, but it also looks really hard. But Sun Wukong, or Black Myth Wukong, just also, it's just, ooh, it just looks so good. It looks so good. Looks like I'm gonna fucking struggle, but I would just be happy to look at everything. Silence stretched out between them as they collected the soggy art books. But instead of keeping his mind focused on the task, Noah couldn't help but stare at August, desperate for the words to fix everything. I have never like watched like a full playthrough of it. I just like the aesthetic of it. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I still kind of want to try it. But at the same time, with how difficult those battles looked, I was like, oof. Yeah, but the devs are like from MOBA games, so I was honestly surprised he actually got his own game because I love Wukong predecessors as a solo. Nice, nice. But there were no miracle words that could fix everything. They didn't exist. And so, Noah defaulted to the only thing he could think to say. I'm sorry. It's fine, it's just water. No, I'm sorry about earlier. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It does matter. It matters a lot to me. Noah stumbled over his sudden outburst, but wasn't ready to stop yet. What they think is stupid. I don't care what they say about me, but I don't want them to say anything bad about you. I want to spend time with you. I want to hang out at school and outside of it too. So I will. Yeah, fuck them. Do what you want. If you want, that is. Presses my index fingers together, twirls my hair, kicks my feet. If you want to. I don't want to cause a problem between you and your parents. It's okay if you don't want to hang out with me anymore. No matter what, I want to see you. August suddenly let out a breath he was holding, and a smile came back to his face. Whew. Good, because I really wanted to stay friends. Already getting sad. Considering how this game started and what we know, I'm not ready for it. I don't know how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen, but I'm not ready for it. At some point, Noah's heart had begun to beat hard and fast. He bit his lip. I should tell him I like you. Did your brother do this? How did you know? I saw you two arguing. Yeah, he hates me, so he ruined one of the only things I love. What an asshole. You're right. I know it doesn't make it better, but... Hard, fast, lip biting. If only it was that kind of game instead of the Sag. Let's replace all of this together. I'm not really good at drawing, though. Yeah. Noah? Noah, where are you? Fuck you, Mom. I don't care where you are. Noah and August, with their arms filled with water-soaked books, quickly left the river. I should go. I don't want you to get in more trouble. But I'll see you at school tomorrow, okay? Yeah, see you tomorrow. Just as August disappeared one way, his mother appeared from another. What are you... Noah, you're soaked. I wonder who we can blame for that. You can't shift the blame for everything that happens in life, Noah. Are you shitting me, woman? You have no responsibility as an adult. My fucking god. He did it. He threw all of my art books into the river and now they're all ruined. I'm sure it was an accident. Yeah, sure. He accidentally picked up my art books, carried them all the way to the river, and threw them in. That happens every day. Sure. Sure. How? How could anyone accidentally do that? Fucking exactly. I'm not here to argue with you. You have a guest at home. And look at you. Your cheeks are all red. You're probably getting sick already. Noah frowned. The image of August beside him still stuck in his mind. Fine, I'm going home. I wouldn't even call this a fucking home. Kaine! All packed and ready to... Whoa, what happened to your clothes? Every time I want to hate her, I think of the beginning and feel good. Yeah, true. These parents have no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Long story. What are you talking about, though? Don't you remember? You're staying at my house to study for the test tomorrow. Test. Do we have a test? Bro, get with it. Pick up the clues. Right, the test. Let me go change and get my stuff. Only studying, yes? Yeah. Lovely. I'm so happy that someone like you would be friends with someone like my son. What the fuck does that mean? He can really depend on you. Ahahaha, you flatter me, ma'am. Really, it's the other way around. What a good kid you are. Fuck this lady. Rolling his eyes, Noah quickly retrieved his things from his bedroom, packing a spare uniform and some PJs. When he reappeared, Kaine and his mother were still conversing kindly. From the sound of it, it mostly consisted of praise. I'm ready. Good. Well, it was nice talking to you, ma'am. We'll study extra hard tonight. We'll do something extra hard. If it were up to me, anyway. Noah, make sure not to slow down dear Kaine, alright? Fuck off. So closeted, that's why she loves him. Ugh. Right, because I'm obviously an idiot. I won't. I don't know how to behave, okay? I don't have that setting. Kaine went on ahead, holding open the door for Noah before letting it fall shut behind him. He's even a gentleman. Chivalry isn't dead. That is a word we don't know around here. Correct. I need to make the horny gel redeem, like, cheaper. Thanks, Kaine. What exactly happened in the hour since I last saw you? It's a long story. Well, I have time to listen. Asher threw all of my art into the river. He what? Why? Had to add a fuck ton of words to automod because of my feral antics. It's true. It's true. I should fucking take a screenshot one of these days. And post that on Discord. Just be like, this is all because of Bacardi. Great question. I guess he just hates me. How would I know? Sorry it took so long then. I should have been there to help. Noah shook his head. You got me out of there. You're already the best friend I could have. Oh, Kaine. You're so fucking precious. Come on. I didn't think they're looking out the window at us anymore. I don't think they're looking out the window at us anymore. Kaine took hold of Noah's wrist, leading him away from his parents' prying eyes. When he thought they had gone far enough, Kaine circled back before coming to a stop somewhere Noah hadn't expected. His next door neighbor's house. What's going on? We're having that sleepover at August's house. What? Does August know about this? He's about to. We can't just barge. Oh boy. Kaine, You're like a wingman, but also just so sad. Kaine quickly pressed the doorbell. From further inside, a breezy tune carried through the house, followed by footsteps. Hello? 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 Hello, sir. Are you daddy? Are you daddy? Are you daddy? You are daddy. Ah. Oh, boy. Okay. 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 I don't want to click away. I just want to look at him. Damn. 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 Okay. Hello? The door swung open, and standing in its place was a tall man with messy blonde hair and light blue eyes. Instantly, Noah recognized the man, despite never having met. Probably because he's Noah's dad, and Noah looks like his dad. His eyes held a deep kindness, and a smile played upon his lips. This could only be August's father. Oh, I'm just realizing it's kind of sad, though, getting to see his dad. Because since August looks so much like his dad, it's like getting to see an adult version of August. Something you never get to see. Ugh. Okay, I'm not gonna think about sad stuff. Oh, Kaine, how wonderful to see you again. Noah looked towards Kaine, flustered and curious, when he remembered they'd probably met when they were moving classes. I'm sorry, but it came to mind and I had to share it. The kind-looking man's eyes traveled from Kaine to Noah. Oh, I'm Noah. I live next door. Awkwardly, Noah pointed towards his house, careful to stay hidden from any peering eyes. Noah, I was wondering when we would finally meet. August talks about you all the time. He does? Twirls my hair, kicks my feet. All lovely things, I assure you. You can call me Jasper, by the way. Jasper. I like the name Jasper. Very, very good. Anyway, what can I do for you two? We were wondering if we could see August. Of course you can. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to see his friends. August, you have guests. A moment later, a bespectacled face peered at them from behind his father. Oh, sweet boy. The only difference is the eye color. August has like green eyes, but everything else, pretty much. God, he would have been such a fucking handsome adult. Oh, also, Daddy has like a little beauty mark, like on his chin. Ugh. Ugh. Father. 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 Okay, I gotta move on. Whew. Noah, Kaine, what are you two doing here? His face held genuine surprise, but he was obviously pleased with this development. Well, you see, we were wondering if we could sleep over tonight. August's surprised face... Surprised face? Did we mean face? Surprised face morphed into a wide, bright smile as he turned his eyes toward his dad. In return, his father chuckled and nodded. You two are practically family already. You're welcome anytime. Come in, I'll show you my room. Get to go into my crush's room. The moment the trio stepped into August's bedroom, both Kaine and Noah could instantly tell it belonged to him. Bro has plants. These kids have, like, bigger rooms than I've ever had in my entire life. Unlike Noah's bedroom, this room felt like August, despite his family being here for only a short amount of time. His ass better close them. Oh, that's true. Right, because they're, like, right across from each other. Very true. Close your curtains! This is my bedroom. I'll go and get us some drinks. Feel free to make yourselves comfortable. We'll make ourselves comfortable by closing the curtains. Because now that Bacardi pointed it out, I'm going to be thinking about it until it happens. Since we already know Asher will just walk into our room or steal our shit. Noah's eyes went from one thing to another. August's bed, made perfectly, his pillow where his head rested every night. He slowly leaned over and put his face in the pillow and took a big... And Kaine said nothing. Next to his desk was a big, green, leafy plant that made the room feel even more cozy. Noah eyed it up, thinking, I would have killed it already. What's the opposite of a green thumb? A murderer. Lastly, his eyes fell to the blonde's desk. Hanging on the wall above it was a small collection of Polaroids, some older than others. These guys up here. At least you were smelling a pillow and not the piss blankets from that one work. God, what was it? The kidnap? Yeah. Whenever I rewatch that short, I'm still thinking about it. Just like, who in their goddamn mind picks up a pissed-on blanket by the piss end? Who does that? Unless you're gonna sniff it. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Or a dumb kid. That would make sense too. Is that you? He instantly looked away, his cheeks hot. Hanging on August's wall proudly was the photo he'd taken of Noah from across their balconies. I didn't think he'd keep it. Oh my god. No, Kaine's face. Look at Kaine's face. Kaine's face. Oh, he loves Noah so much. I'm gonna fucking die. Ah. Shaking his head, Noah looked back at the other photos. Some were of August and his father, but one happened to stand out. It looked old and slightly faded, but well looked after. It showed a woman with kind, green eyes smiling at whoever was taking the photo. That's Mom, for fucking sure. He got Mommy's green eyes. That's my mom. My dad says I look just like her. I would say you look a lot like him, but maybe you look like her. I don't know. I can't see the photo from here. This is the only photo I've seen of her, though, so I can't really tell. You do look like her. August set down 3 colas on his desk, admiring the photograph himself. Noah's voice dropped to a whisper. I didn't think you'd keep that. August looked back at Noah out of the corner of his eyes. The moonlight shone in from the window, illuminating his face. I told you, I look at it whenever I'm feeling lonely. Oh my god. You two are just so gay for each other. Just admit it. Put Kaine out of his fucking misery, please. Ah, dreams of a past long forgotten. Ooh, hello. Falling. My boy Kaine. Okay, gotta make sure I have my guide up. Okay. Okay. I'm about there. Alright. Where is it? Immediately thought of that fucking meme. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? It has to be here. Noah knelt on the ground, searching through an array of cardboard boxes which had been taped hastily shut. These boxes had been gathering dust in his room, stacked up in every nook and cranny, for longer than he wanted to admit. Years, easily, though Noah didn't think, or like to think about it much. It was hard to remember. The events immediately after August's death were all a blur. In attempting to recall them, they only became more distorted, like a mirage. It was impossible to hold on to them. Back to the present, where we're really, really sad. But through it all, Kaine had been there. Kaine had always been there, through everything, no matter where or when. He drove these boxes over, he picked out his apartment, hell, he paid for it and let Noah slowly repay him. He'd supported him no matter what. Really, he was like Noah's personal cheerleader. When I think about it like that, he really has done a lot for me. What have I done, meanwhile, to repay him? Nothing. All he'd shown Kaine in the last few years was contempt. No one knew. If he had asked Kaine, he would have said he did not want to be repaid. I just want you to feel better. And even if you can't feel better, I'd like you to be more like your old self. I'd like for you to get to the point where you can smile freely again. That's all. Noah was sure Kaine had said something like that before. His memory was hazy at times, but it sounded like something he'd say. He's far too forgiving, and it just makes me feel guilty. Noah sighed as he dug through the cardboard boxes, but he'd never bothered to sort most of them. He hadn't had the energy. It's called depression. He had unpacked only the bare essentials after arriving in his apartment. His sheets, his clothes, and some crockery. Although that, perhaps, had been a pointless gesture given how little he had been eating. When he did eat, it was when Kaine cooked something, which, credit where credit's due, was a lot. He had unpacked some of his painting supplies too, but that had been even more pointless. For far too long, he had been unable to bring a brush to a canvas, and when he did, the results were less than impressive. His attempts at painting had done nothing save waste good acrylics and watercolors. But he still tried, because if he didn't have painting, if he didn't have art, he'd have nothing. Maybe I shouldn't have bothered. I should have left everything shut away in these boxes. Noah stared down into the box, thinking. I have more things than I remember. It must have taken Kaine a long time to pack all of this. Did I ever say thank you? I don't know. Noah continued to search like a man possessed, tearing off strips of packing tape and rooting through the boxes. In this box was an old toaster, never used. In this one, some old memo pads and colored pencils. The pencils made him smile. He had very few art supplies growing up, but the way his parents disapproved, these were from his childhood. He continued digging. Old books, clothes much too small for him, magazines. Noah continued his search, his head bowed. He was unaccustomed to physical exercise, having spent so long indoors, and the simple act of searching through these boxes was making him feel breathless. Boy, I'm not like the best in shape person, but boy. He never used to be like this. He remembered the days of running around school with Kaine playing games. Where is it? Is this it? At long last, Noah excavated it from beneath a sea of miscellaneous items. It was a large book, sumptuously bound, full of laminated pages. It was his yearbook. This was Noah's last yearbook. He should have had one more, but he had stopped going to school at that point. He hadn't been able to see the point, not without August. He tried, he really did try, but once you've known such a bright light, it's hard to become accustomed to darkness. Noah hadn't wanted this yearbook. He hadn't seen the point in that either. He had told Kaine as much, but Kaine had insisted on picking up a copy regardless. He had said Noah might regret it one day, that he might want to cherish these memories. Noah had thought this highly presumptuous on Kaine's part. He'd even toyed with the idea of throwing the yearbook away when Kaine had given it to him, but he had stopped himself. He had thought it would be insensitive. Kaine had bought the stupid thing for him as a gesture of goodwill, and it had been expensive. Yearbooks are fucking expensive. Noah had accepted the gift, but he hadn't looked through it. He hadn't had the heart. Better to just leave it in a box, packed away in the dark. It seemed imperative all of a sudden that he look through it now, though. Maybe there was a photo of him in there. He looked and looked, flipping the pages distractedly. He saw a sea of familiar faces. Luca, Rosamy, Sebastian, but he didn't want to focus on any of them. They weren't important. There was only one face he wanted to locate. But, try though he might, he could not find him. Noah glanced through the book for a second time, more quickly this time, but once again, he drew a blank. It seemed that he could not will him into existence after all. The timings must not have matched up. He hadn't been there when this yearbook had been made. It made sense, seeing as August transferred a few months into the school year. Well, it had always been a long shot. There was a reason why he hadn't even bothered to look through the book. Feeling despondent, but not too disappointed, his expectations had always been low. He set the book aside. For a few moments, he crouched there, surrounded by a sea of ramshacked cardboard boxes, when a familiar voice caught his attention. Oh, it's you, Ivan. This little shithead. Nice collection of random trash. You getting ready for a yard sale or something? Oh, you're back, huh? Noah turned, still kneeling, and came face to face with Ivan. The white-haired young man was reclining on the couch as though he owned the place, as though he had never left. I was wondering where he had got to. You're all right, huh? Noah spoke flatly. It was a statement, not a question. He did not really care what Ivan had been doing or how he had escaped from Asher's dream. It seemed irrelevant, just like everything else. Ivan must have noticed Noah's apathy because he responded in turn with a non-committal shrug. I'm always alright. You don't have to worry about that. I wasn't. I know. Don't worry. I just thought I'd mention it in case you did care. You know, like most normal people. Please. Noah snorted. You're the last person who gets to berate people for being abnormal. Touché. Are we flirting now? This feels like flirting. Ivan smiled vaguely, but it didn't last. He cast another curious look at Noah. So, what are you doing? Decided to give up your shut-in life and clean up the place? A little spring cleaning? It's not the season for it, but your place could use it. It's a dump. He's not wrong there. It is a fucking dump. If my apartment offends you, you don't have to stay here. You're free to leave. Did I say I disliked it? Then deal with the mess or clean it up yourself. I don't care. Noah picked up the yearbook, which felt as heavy as a brick, and dropped it unceremoniously back into the box from whence he had excavated it. The book made a dull thud as it hit the inside of the box, one which was rather alarming. Had it broken or something? Ruh-roh. What else had been in that box anyway? Tableware? Noah didn't care. He rose to his feet, nudging the box to one side as he did. He would put it away later, along with all the other boxes. I wonder if maybe it was a photo in like a frame, and dropping the book in there like broke the picture frame. Maybe a photo that a certain August took. Maybe. If he remembered. For someone that doesn't give a shit about anything, you're sure to seem like you give a shit today. Ivan frowned, his arms folded. What the hell does that mean? Ivan shrugged. I don't give a shit if your apartment is a mess. I just thought you might. Why would I care about the opinion of a near total stranger? Ha! You and I really are similar. Do you think that was my opinion? Was it not? You just told me I should clean up since it's a dump. Society would demand you clean it up. I thought you were trying to be a part of it, trying to better yourself. But you and I are just pieces of shit who don't fit in this world. So leave it a mess and just give up on all of this already. Well, this is a healthy relationship. You sound like you're trying to invite me to a cult. Maybe I am. Well, I'm not interested. All I want is to be left alone to paint. You really need to work on relaxing. The whole world isn't out to get you. You aren't as important as you think. Wow, thanks, asshole. Why did you even come back? Just to harass me? Would you believe me if I said I enjoy your company? No. Good. Ivan lounged back further on the couch, gazing towards Noah lazily. He's like a fucking cat. Just like a stray cat that just wandered in through your open door and decided, this isn't my place now. I don't care if you live here, but I'm living here now. I don't know why that friend of yours is so obsessed with you. You're just another piece of shit. Are we talking about Kaine? He's obsessed with me? He loves me? Huh? Noah frowned. What friend? The tall one with the broad shoulders. What's his name? Kaine. Kaine? The mention of Kaine's name made Noah tense. Why do you care about Kaine anyway? Are we getting jelly? I don't. I was just thinking, he must have the patience of a saint. That, or maybe he likes being mistreated. There are people like that. Ivan smiled lopsidedly, then shrugged again. It takes all sorts, I guess. Oh, shut up. Fine with me. Ivan switched on the TV and began to watch it, an uninterested expression on his face. He always looked like that. Ivan settled back on the couch, his legs spread out before him like a stretching cat. The cat comparison. I was right. He did not offer to let Noah sit down, not that Noah minded much, or much minded. He had no real desire to join Ivan. He was finding Ivan's company quite wearing, in fact. So am I. That's what I get for wondering how he is. The next time he drags me into a dream, I hope he stays in there. It'll do me a favor, if nothing else. Noah thought about making himself something to drink. A cup of coffee, maybe? Did he have any coffee beans? He was feeling exhausted, but a voice drifting from the television made him pause. At approximately 5:45 this morning, another body was found in West Park. Police have sectioned off the area. West Park? That's close to my old home. What are the odds? Noah turned his full attention to the TV set, a tense knot of anxiety beginning to form in the pit of his stomach. Whose body has shown up this time? Oh God, what if it's Mr. Lloyd? Is it Lloyd or Floyd? I can't remember. I don't want him to die. It couldn't have been. Oh God, Asher? God, what if it is Asher? I hope. Oh, and he was in line to go to heaven in his dream. No, don't let it be Asher. I don't want Asher to be dead. I want us to reconcile. God damn it. He was an asshole, but he didn't deserve to die. The well-deserved news reporter on the screen cleared her throat, then continued with her report. Noah, meanwhile, watched on nervously, his whole body tense and taut like a coiled spring. Oh, okay, phew. Oh wait, we just saw Sebastian in the yearbook. What's he look like? The deceased has been identified by his family as Sebastian Carter, age 23. Sebastian was last seen just yesterday evening. Police have released a statement saying that markings matching previously discovered bodies were present. The vine pattern, the same thing that Ivan has. So it wasn't Asher after all. That was a relief, though there was something sinister about it all. Noah had just seen Sebastian's smiling face only a few minutes ago, memorialized within the pages of his old yearbook. That's what I'm saying. That's wild to me. Like, oh, I was just looking at this photo of you alive, and now here I am seeing you on the news dead. Within the matter of minutes. That's like, oof. So that's another person dead, and they're also related to me. Can this really be a coincidence? Ivan, perhaps noticing Noah's grim expression, frowned. Enjoying the show? It's not a show, that's a real person. Does that mean it can't be interesting? I guess not, but it's not that. I know him, kind of anyway. He went to my high school. We weren't on the best of terms. Is anyone on the best of terms with you? Okay, that's a fair statement. The question hung in the air, but neither man continued the conversation. For that, Noah was grateful. Maybe even Ivan, tactless though he can be, realized this wasn't a subject Noah wanted to talk about. It was all too much, especially after Asher's dream, meeting Crow, looking through his old yearbook. Surely there's a limit to how many awful things can happen in a day. The news reporter had started to describe the mysterious markings which had appeared on the recently discovered corpses. An artistic render of these markings can be seen on the screen, twisting vines and unfurling flowers. Again, like what our boy Ivan here has. There was something rather pretty about it in a macabre sort of way. Noah had once called it a masterpiece. I wouldn't mind painting something like that. Noah glanced curiously at Ivan. He could see the same pattern picked out on Ivan's pale skin, running down the length of his neck and shoulder. It had put Noah on alert the moment he saw it, but over time, even that had faded into the background. Along his white hair, and his holographic fashion, it was easy to forget those marks. It looks just like the markings on TV. Surely that has to mean something. Hadn't Crow said something about these markings earlier in Asher's dream? He had called them a side effect of dreams on the human body. I guess that proves it. These people really are being killed in their dreams. Who could be behind it, though? Could it be? Ivan was frowning, his eyes narrowed. What are you staring at? You're not about to confess to me, are you? Sorry, I'm not interested. You wish. I can't think of a worse person in the world than you. That's because I'm just looking in a mirror wait. My brain fucking flatlined for a second there. Hold on. Let me restart here. Get some water. Okay. That's because I'm just, like, looking in a mirror to you. Noah scoffed, then glanced away, feeling conflicted. Could these markings be some sort of calling card? Maybe the killer has been signing their handiwork. Doesn't that make Yvonne the most likely culprit? I don't know if I can picture him as being a killer, though. I don't know. He's wearing, like, a bodysuit, and that holographic jacket could be waterproof. Could be bloodproof. I don't know if I can picture him as being a killer, though, and why would he target people I know? He has no reason to kill Sebastian, as far as I know. Or my parents, for that matter. If these deaths are all related to me, then... Noah frowned. I wonder who will be targeted next. If anybody tries to touch Kaine, I will light the world on fire. Anybody in my yearbook could be a target, or maybe... Noah's eyes widened with alarm. That's what I'm saying! What about Kaine? There was no doubt that Kaine was the person Noah was closest to. Kaine was the one who was always there, the one who had his back, the one who had supported him. Kaine checked up on him with the punctual regularity of a Swiss pocket watch. If Noah's hypothesis was right, and people he knew were being targeted, where would that put Kaine? Is he in danger? There was Crow too, Noah supposed. But Crow... Well, if people are dying in their dreams, I guess Crow isn't safe. But I don't know who he really is. I want to believe he's August. I want to believe it so badly. But I've only ever seen him in dreams. Kaine, however, was real. He was made of flesh and blood, a fact that was indisputable. Noah knew this only too well. How many times had Kaine helped him to his feet, when he had been slumped on the ground, surrounded by ugly, paint-splattered canvases, his skull throbbing and the taste of bile bitter on his tongue? It had been more times than he could count. Noah had no fond feelings towards his parents, and neither did he much care for Sebastian, but he did care about Kaine. Fuck yeah. What would he do if anything happened to him? Noah pondered this for a few moments before deciding he didn't much want to know. The thought was too bleak. Somewhat distractedly, he reached into his pants pocket, then he pulled out his phone. He took one glance at it, then... Shit. Noah cursed under his breath. Kaine had tried to call him during the last few hours, not just once, but 7 whole times. These notifications showed up on Noah's phone like censures, each and every one a reminder of how poorly he had been treating Kaine. In this case, at least, he had an excuse. Yeah, we weren't conscious, so, I mean... We were in a fucking dream. Yvonne had dragged him outside against his wishes, and then he had forced him into a dream. After returning, Noah had been struck with a desire to see August's face, a desire so strong he hadn't thought to check his phone. Kaine had been calling and calling, but Noah had not heard his phone ring, not since the non-stop calls from his father a few days ago. He'd kept it on silent mode. Kaine hadn't just called him either, he had sent numerous texts too, all to the tone of, "Are you alright? Is something the matter? Noah, I'm starting to worry." God, Kaine. My heart belongs to Kaine. Noah sighed. Well, that was Kaine all over. He always worried. Though I guess I don't make things any easier for him. I must give him a lot to worry about. I wish I could be different, but he just doesn't understand. He can't understand me. I do like his, like, whole aesthetic. His personality needs to be fixed, but I like how he looks, for sure. He can't understand you, baby. He understands you. Trust me. He's been in love with you for so long. Or maybe he can, and I've never given him the chance to. Thank you. Thank you for working through that line of thought. If you hadn't, I would shake you. Grab you by the shoulders and shake you. The last message Kaine had sent Noah only 5 minutes ago was a curt one. I'm sorry, but I'm coming over. I'm seriously worried right now. That was fair enough, Noah supposed, but he didn't want Kaine running into Ivan. That was one headache he could do without. Noah hastily called Kaine, hoping he could intercept him before he arrived on his doorstep. How far was the walk between Kaine's office and his apartment anyway? Noah wasn't sure. Kaine's phone rang only once before he answered. Noah, is that you? Are you alright? I'm still alive, at least. And yes, I'm still me. At least, I was the last time I checked. I've experienced so many strange things, I'm beginning to wonder, though. Oh, thank God. Kaine's relief was palpable. Noah couldn't see Kaine's face, but he knew he would be sighing. I was terrified that you had... Well, never mind what I thought. I was probably making a big deal out of nothing again, huh? It's just... It's good to hear your voice. Right. Noah frowned. How was he supposed to reply to that? Well, you don't need to worry anymore. I'm still hanging in there. Ivan could only catch one half of Noah's conversation, but he must have been able to guess who was on the other end of the line. He stood up, stretching. Again, rather like a cat. God, I nailed it with a fucking cat analogy. Is that Saint Kaine himself checking up on you? Who else would it be? You said it yourself. I don't have any other friends. I wonder why. Noah? Who's that? Who are you talking to? Nobody important. He doesn't matter. I'm nobody important, huh? Ivan raised an eyebrow. Wow, how cold. No wonder you don't have any other friends. Dude, I met you like a day ago. I don't know who you are. You're a guy who broke into my apartment and has only caused me problems. That's the extent of our relationship. Ivan looked towards the door, then back towards Noah. See ya, I've got stuff to do. What? You're leaving? Alrighty, thank you for the lurk. And get some good rest. Even if you're just laying down. Oof. Whoop.
Good boy.
Oh, thank you. As I adjust my mic here. Yep, don't miss me too badly. Ivan slinked out of the room to do... Well, Noah had no clue. He didn't much care either. Right now, Kaine was more important. Kaine and his 7 missed calls. Damn straight. Sorry about that, I just had to see somebody off. You had somebody over? That's unlike you. Noah could hear Kaine's confusion through the other end of the phone. Kaine didn't say it, but he must have been thinking, since when did you have any other friends? It wasn't of my own volition, believe me. Wait, it's not that guy, is it? Yes it is, Ivan. It's complicated, don't worry about it, okay? He's gone, so that makes my life a little bit easier. What do you need? Well, I called because I was worried about you, and I'm even more worried now. What's going on? What have you been doing? I called you 7 times, I know. If you know, why didn't you answer? I didn't see your calls until now. I was otherwise engaged. With Ivan of all people? Now you're starting to sound like a nagging partner. He was part of it, yeah, but I was doing other things too. Such as? It's not really important, really. Or it's not important, really. Did you say you were coming over? That was the plan. I'm on my way now. what about your job? You'll get in trouble, won't you, if you take off in the middle of the day? Noah, it's already 6 p.m. I finished work 15 minutes ago. Oh, right. Whoops. That was one of the side effects, Noah supposed, of being miserable. Time began to lose all meaning. That's too real, man. That's too real. Right, indeed. Kaine sighed. That sounds a little like you've been struggling lately, Noah. I don't like to see you like this. Do you mind if I come over? I'm only 10 minutes away. I don't know why you're asking. You usually don't give me a choice. That's because you don't usually reply to my texts, or call me of your own free will, for that matter. This is a definite change. Huh? I guess he's right there. I never called Kaine. He always calls me. I wonder why today should be so different. It must be because I was looking through that old yearbook. That'll be it. It made me feel sentimental, maybe. Well, you could come over, I guess. Noah glanced about his room dispassionately. He took in the scattered canvases, none of which inspired much joy, and all of the boxes. He hadn't bothered to pack away the items he had pulled from these boxes in his search for his yearbook, and his apartment looked even messier than usual. Kaine's going to be even more unhappy if he sees all of this. Or, on second thought, maybe not. It's a bit messy. Noah, your place is always messy. I'm used to it. Messy is a massive understatement, by the way. It's a goddamn pigsty. For real. Messier than usual? Well, now I'm interested. It's gotta be really bad if even you think it's a problem. You're just making me want to come over more. But if you insist, well, why don't you come and see me instead? Excuse me? Yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually. Yeah, get out of your fucking house. We can meet up outside, maybe at the park. I think it'll be good for you going outdoors. You can get some fresh air, some sunlight. You got tired from opening boxes. I mean, boy. I think I've had enough fresh air for one day already, thanks. Actually, Kaine. Noah opened his mouth, meaning to interrupt, but Kaine cut across him. It's a nice day. It's very sunny, but not too sunny. The park should look especially nice around this time of year. There's a lot of flowers and stuff. Well, yeah. I can't say I know a lot about plants and parks and stuff. I'm no botanist, but still, it'll be nice. You're not a salesman either. Riley. Noah smiled. You'd be awful at marketing. Then it's a good thing I'm not in marketing, isn't it? Kaine chuckled. It was a low sound, rich and deep, which took Noah by surprise. He couldn't remember the last time Kaine had laughed. Hell, he was having a hard time trying to remember the last time Kaine had smiled. Is that my fault? So what about it? I know you prefer staying inside, but I don't think it's good for you spending all your time shut up like a hermit. A little bit of sunlight never hurt anybody. Try telling that to a vampire. Are you saying that you're a vampire, Noah? Not in the traditional sense. I don't suck people's blood, but people's happiness? Maybe. I wouldn't rule it out. Ha, well, stranger things have happened, it's true. As far as I'm aware, though, you don't have any aversion to natural light. I think it'll do you a world of good. And I think you're being a bit too optimistic. Well, get your ass outside and see how you feel when you get some fucking vitamin D in your bones. But who am I to crush your dreams? Noah was rather less enthusiastic about the plan than Kaine, but he found himself agreeing regardless. It was easier than arguing. And it was probably easier, too, than tidying up all the boxes. Noah's forearms were still screaming at him, thanks to the strain he'd placed on them. Right, whatever. Noah hashed out a meeting place with Kaine, then hung up. He slid his phone back into his pocket, wondering, as he did, what in the world had compelled him into agreeing with this. Seeing Kaine was not, in and of itself, a wholly unappealing idea. Why he had agreed to visit Kaine outside, however, in the park of all things, was a mystery Noah could not unravel. 'Cause we're catching feelings. He could not recall the last time he had been to the park, if indeed he had ever been there. Kaine had invited him out before, for walks or movies or other outdoorsy things, but Noah had always turned him down. Stepping outside of his drab, dingy apartment had sounded like too much of a hassle. The outside world was much too loud. It was bright and garish, full of people Noah did not know, who did not know him, who talked too much and laughed too easily. Noah wanted nothing to do with them. It was not that he was afraid of leaving his home, as Kaine seemed to suspect. He quite simply did not care enough. He had no desire to interact with the outside world. What was the point when he would never find what it was he was looking for? It was easier to stay indoors. It did not make him happier, this self-imposed isolation, but it required less stamina than dealing with other people did. Kaine seemed to think that going outside would help stimulate Noah's creative muse, but Noah disagreed. He could not think of a single thing the outside world had to offer which might revitalize his spirits. It has Kaine, so fucking get out your fucking door, boy. Get out there. It was all a waste of time. But Noah had already let Ivan drag him out of his apartment, and he barely knew the man. If he could stomach the outside world with a stranger, he could do it with Kaine. It was what Kaine seemed to want, in any case, even if Noah did not. Perhaps it was time he tried to indulge Kaine, if only a little, considering how much he has indulged you over the course of however long you've known each other. Yeah. You could do it back. Wouldn't kill you. Yeah, hadn't Kaine done enough to deserve it? He had been paying Noah's bills for months and making him food. The least he could do, Noah supposed, was humor him. It was with this thought in mind that Noah forced himself into action. He slid his shoes on in the entrance of his apartment, then headed off. Do you ever fucking shower or bathe? Are you stanky? Going on a date all stanky with my boy Kaine. You're lucky Kaine loves you. Though he had lived in this apartment for years, the surrounding area was still unfamiliar to him. Maybe I ought to take that as a sign that I really don't get out enough. Noah's thoughts were vague and oddly disconnected from reality as he walked the streets. He passed the odd pedestrian, catching out of context snippets of conversation in their wake, but they held no interest to him. Their faces might as well have been blank, like mannequins. Noah was certain that this reality, none of his dreams had ever been this mundane. Was certain that this was reality. None of his dreams had ever been this mundane, but it did not feel like it. He could very well have been inhabiting a dream. How would he have known? Oh, this is a pretty park. The curious feeling did not abate even when Noah arrived with his phone's help at the park. If anything, the feeling was even stronger here. The park was located in the center of the city. It was vast to a disorienting degree. The freshly mown grass so green it hurt his eyes. It was well cared for, and it boasted numerous flower beds, studded with all sorts of flora Noah could not name. He was an artist, not a botanist. He had painted flowers in the past, but their names were lost to him. Maybe August would have known what these flowers were called. But Noah could hardly ask. He was not there. Noah shook his head. Then he hurried to the meeting spot Kaine had designated. Fortunately for Noah, it did not take him long to find him. Kaine was waiting for him on a bench by a fountain, like he had said. Noah couldn't help but notice how well pressed his clothes were. Everything about Kaine was neatly pressed. Even his hair looked perfect, not a single strand out of place. Because he's on a date with you. Boy, he's putting in the work. He's been putting in the work for years. There was a bit of a breeze, but not even it could rumple Kaine's carefully put together appearance. Perhaps it didn't care, or didn't dare. I don't even want to think about how I must look in comparison. Like I said, you should have taken a shower beforehand. Noah didn't feel particularly self-conscious as he approached Kaine. He really didn't care enough, but he imagined they must have made a strange pair. Kaine always looked pristine. He, unlike Noah, took his looks seriously, but he must have looked even more so in contrast to Noah. I just hope I don't draw too much attention to us. Noah approached Kaine quietly. He did not bother to introduce himself, but that didn't matter. He didn't need to. Kaine's head swiveled at the sound of Noah's approaching footsteps. It was remarkable, really, how he was able to pick Noah out from amongst the crowd, given the park was so popular. I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. He knows you inside and out. He wants to know you inside and out. In every way possible. Give him a fucking chance. He must have been waiting. Noah. Kaine's face lit up when he saw Noah, like a young boy's. Smiling, he waved him over. God, it's good to see you. Oh, he was blushing a little bit. I was honestly wondering whether you'd show up or not. Were you worried I would stand you up? Really? Do you want me to answer that honestly? Ouch. Anyway, no use dwelling on that unfortunate truth. I didn't invite you here so I can nag you. For fucking real. I just want Kaine to, like, grab him by the collar and plant one on him. But also, Noah is definitely not in the headspace for that yet. But soon. Soon. I will get there. I got the guide. I know how to get to the good ending. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I didn't invite you here so I could nag you. Lucky me. Kaine's smile took on an awkward edge, but he did not press any further. Instead, he patted the bench beside him. Do you want to sit down? It's been a while since we really talked. Noah swallowed a sigh. He knew Kaine didn't mean to get at him. He was just concerned. His concern was appreciated, but it would be easier if he didn't bother. Then again, I did come all the way out here. What does that say about me? Noah took a seat on the bench beside Kaine, as he had instructed. Then, he glanced around the park. The sunlight was much too bright for his sensitive eyes. Everything was too intense, the lights and the colors. All the noise, too. Why were there so many people? Noah had spent so long indoors, he had forgotten just how intense the outside world could be. Me, whenever I step outside. He squeezed his eyes shut in an attempt to calm himself, but it had little effect. The world blurred when he opened them. Everything looked faintly unrealistic, surrealistic. He might as well have been looking at an impressionistic painting. Or perhaps a dream. Noah had been pulled into dreams so often as of late that it had become hard to tell what was a dream and what was not. Reality and fantasy were no longer as clearly delineated as he had once been. I have not seen that word before. My god, cat. What are you yelling at? Absolutely nothing. It had all begun to blur together. Perhaps this too was a dream. Would it have been so strange if it was? It was stranger, almost, for Noah to take this as reality. It was nothing like the reality he had once known. Noah had spent so long indoors, amongst his sullied canvases, that he had almost forgotten what the sunlight looked like. He wasn't sure he liked it. If this was reality, a reality without August, then Kaine could keep it. So, Noah? Kaine's voice interrupted Noah's sluggish musings. It was awkward, unsure of itself. Kaine never used to speak to Noah like this, not when they had been to school. That had been a long time ago, though. I was just wondering, how have you been holding up? Noah stared at Kaine with disbelief, roused from his stupor by how laughably obvious this answer was. What do you think? I'm the same as always. Aren't I? Maybe I'm changing. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Right. God. Noah, please. Kaine sighed. Noah's answer had been bitter enough that it would not have been unthinkable if Kaine had taken offense to it. Kaine did not, however, look offended by Noah's spikiness. He did not even look surprised. Perhaps he had grown too accustomed to this newfound dynamic of theirs. Kaine pushing, while Noah pulled away. It was how things had been for years. You're right. I apologize. What a pointless question, huh? Sorry, I was being insensitive. Noah said nothing. He knew deep down that only one of them was being insensitive, and it wasn't Kaine. Oh boy. Admitting as much was beyond his current capabilities, however. Look, Noah, I'm worried about you. That's the only reason why I asked. You're looking pale, even paler than usual, that is. You look tired, and those bags under your eyes didn't come from nowhere. You can see why I would be concerned, surely. Concerned. Noah echoed this remark flatly, his eyes devoid of emotion. Listlessly, he scanned the park. He's starting to sound like my mother, you know? Well, not my mother, but someone's mother. Yeah, well, someone's got to care about you. You certainly don't. I know you care. It's appreciated, but am I nagging too much? No more than usual, I guess. I'm nothing but not reliable, I suppose. That's one word for you. Oh, I'd love to know some of the other words you'd use to describe me. Fucking handsome as fucking shit. Insufferably caring, annoyingly considerate, stupidly charming. Oh, charming, huh? Wow. Those sure are some words. Once again, no aside. He himself can only be described as reliable nowadays, in the sense that he was reliably unreliable. Well, I'll take it. One of us has to be reliable and considerate and all that. Otherwise, nothing would get done. I knew you were going to say that. You used to say that back in school, too. Really? Kaine smiled. I didn't realize I was so predictable. Predictable is good sometimes. It's not too dull? It's dull, in a good way. Haha, I suppose I'll take that as a compliment. Haven't you been sleeping, though? You look like you're about to pass out. I've been trying. And not succeeding? Noah shook his head. It's hard to sleep lately. I mean, it's been hard for a while, but you already know that. Lately, however, when I try to sleep, I keep dreaming instead. Dreaming, huh? Kaine's brow furrowed. The full meaning of those words, cryptic though they may have sounded, were not lost on him. When you say that, you're not talking about normal dreaming, are you? I don't know how other people dream, but probably not. It shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Nothing I do has been normal lately. I see, so you're still getting involved in all of that. Kaine inhaled. He hooked his fingers together, which were resting on his lap. Then his voice dropped to a whisper. He's having fantasies. If only that were the case. If only it was just, oh, I'm having like wet dreams every night. I can't sleep. No, instead we're having fucking sad boy dreams. Or other people are having sad boy dreams and we're fucking getting thrown into them. Then his voice dropped to a whisper. Does that mean you've seen more things? Just like what we saw with Mr. Floyd? Yeah. Noah. Kaine's face took on a chastising tone, a tone which, once again, reminded Noah of a mother. Not his own mother, but how he thought of a mother should be. I thought I told you to keep away from those dreams. That place, I don't know very much about it, but it didn't feel safe. What if you got trapped there? What if you were hurt? I doubt any dream could hurt me much more than reality. But though this might surprise you, I don't actually have a death wish. I didn't want to go back to those dreams. I didn't have a choice. Ivan twisted my arm, so to speak. Ivan? Kaine pulled a face, one which seemed out of place with his pristine white shirt and smooth, well-brushed hair. Why is that weirdo hanging around you so much? He's like a bad smell. I mean, he is weird, yeah. I don't think he would even disagree with that. And you've been spending more time with him of your own free will? I have. Though it wasn't necessarily by choice. So he's been essentially stalking you. I don't know if stalking is exactly right. He's certainly been breaking and entering my apartment a lot. Ugh. Kaine's disgruntled expression deepened. I knew there was something fishy about him the moment I saw him. He looks like trouble. And it sounds like he's been causing you trouble too. I feel like he causes everybody trouble. I don't think I'm very special in that regard. He doesn't really care about anything or anyone. He and I are similar. You're not like that, Noah. You care about plenty of things. Like? No, something nodded. He hasn't gotten you involved in anything shady, has he? He almost made me an accomplice in a heist, I suppose. What? I mean, he stole an apple. I did pay for it, though. Noah frowned. But he really did dine and dash the other day. I got caught up in that, but... shit. Kaine exhaled. What an asshole. He seems to pride himself on the fact. Why did you go out to eat with him in the first place? Ivan, he, doesn't really ask. I needed information, he promised it if we got food. Then the asshole pulled me into a dream and didn't answer a single thing. He pulled you into a dream? To avoid paying his bill, yes. A little dramatic in my opinion. No shit. Kaine exhaled slowly through his nostrils. His expression was harried. His lips pinched together as though in an attempt to avoid saying something aggressively un-Kaine-like. Noah observed his friend mutely, intrigued by the emotions which had gripped him. It wasn't like Kaine to lose his temper. That was more Noah's forte. He must really have disliked Ivan. So, this dream he pulled you into. Kaine eventually spoke once he had calmed down to a sufficient degree. Was it anything like the dream we saw earlier with Mr. Floyd? Well, there wasn't a dungeon this time. I had to just talk to a bunch of people online. That was great. But other than that, it was similar. And, did you find out whose dream it was? Asher's. This time, Kaine's eyebrows shot up his forehead until they were practically swallowed by his hairline. Not your brother's? I suppose Asher isn't all that common of a name. Yes, my brother. Noah picked idly at a loose thread emerging from the cuff of his jacket, his gaze vague, almost sightless. Did you talk to him? Noah nodded. Wouldn't that be the first time you've talked to him in, what, months? Years? That's one way to raise your eyebrow. I think it's the same eyebrow too. Yeah. Was that left? Yeah, left eyebrow kind of raises on its own, like. I can kind of get my model to do it. Something like that. Well, that sounds like a fun family reunion. I was beside myself with glee. Kaine smiled at this deadpan remark, though a smile did not endure. There was not much to smile about, really, when it came to Noah's fraught relationship with his older brother. And how was Asher? About the same as always. So, he was his usual unpleasant self. He didn't seem very pleased to see me. The feeling was mutual. Kaine snorted. I guess there's another guy who hasn't changed. It's nice to know he's just as much of an ass in his dreams as he is in real life. I wouldn't have expected anything less. He always had it out for me. That's what I thought, at least, but... Noah frowned. Then, he told Kaine everything he had seen in Asher's dream the previous day. He told him about the gates and the people waiting by them, Asher's teacher, Asher's landlord, and Reuben. Asher seemed kind of surprised to see me there. It was almost like... I don't know. Like he knew something was up, I suppose. You mean he was aware he was asleep? Not exactly. I don't think he was completely lucid. I mean, he was asleep, but some of the things he said to me... I don't know. He seemed pretty alarmed when I told him I knew he'd failed his classes, and that he hadn't been paying his rent. It definitely flustered him. Maybe that's why he opened up to me. I'm not exactly sure. But he was a lot more earnest than he usually is. He wasn't just putting me down like he usually does. Instead, it was like we were having, or we were able to have a real conversation. My cats are fighting. Right next to my computer desk. Why? Hey. Hey. Oh my god. Y'all just like deal with your shit. I see. That's a good thing, I guess. But no matter how realistic it might have felt, it was a dream. Well, I know that. I already said as much. I'm not about to get dreams and reality mixed up. Okay, rewind like 10 minutes ago when you were basically saying you didn't really know for sure whether or not this was reality. Noah, you a liar. You a liar. Even if the borders between them have begun to get rather hazy. I'm not delusional, it's just... Dreams are built by the people who dream them. That was Asher's dream, so it should stand to reason that the Asher in his dream would be close to the real thing. I mean, it's not like he started preaching about world peace. He was still a smug bastard. He was just slightly less smug and bastard-like than usual. Now I'm almost sorry I missed it. It sounds like something I'd like to see. It wasn't that exciting, really. It was kind of sad, mostly. Yeah? Yeah. If that dream has any bearing in reality, then I don't think Asher's been doing too well. Huh. Well. Kaine scoffed. Serves him right. You don't feel sorry for him, do you, Noah? Not particularly. I am curious, though. I mean... Noah readjusted himself on the bench. Pensively, he looked out over the park, his brow furrowed. He texted me earlier. No kidding? Yeah. Noah nodded, his expression grim, his lips pressed together. He asked if we could talk, which was unusual coming from him. We've not spoken in ages. I mean, hell, he didn't even call me after our parents died. For him to contact me like this, out of the blue, right after that dream, I think it has to be related. Do you think he remembered it then? I'm not sure. I couldn't say, really. But there was a person in Asher's dream who seemed to know about all of this dream stuff. She said she was doing research on the subject at university. The same university Asher's attending, actually. Apparently, she and Asher even used to be dating. For a little while, at least. Maybe Asher knows something about dreams too, if he's been hanging out with people like that. It isn't impossible. Huh. Well, I'll be. I didn't think this was the sort of topic that would be studied in universities. It sounds a bit too... fake, I guess. I was surprised too. I doubt it went over well with her professors. You're telling me. I think I understand what's going on though, more or less. Do you now? That's funny. I'm the one who's caught dead center in all of this madness, and I have no idea. All this time, I've been groping around in the dark. If I hadn't been pulled into Mr. Floyd's dream myself, I'd worry all that isolation has gotten to your head. I'd be tempted to haul you to a hospital right about now. But with all that stuff we saw before, I can't do anything but believe it. Believe it! Kagebushin! Rasengan! I can't think of anything else. Well, I'm glad you aren't doubting my sanity. I have doubted it in the past. He's nothing if not honest. But I trust you, Noah. I really do. I put the hoe in Hokage. I feel like the first Hokage was probably a bit of a hoe. Before he settled down. Maybe even after he settled down. They might have been poly in the past, who knows? But I trust you, Noah. I really do. Still. Kaine offered Noah a crooked smile. The dream stuff, I can just about wrap my head around, but all this shit with Asher? That really is unreal. I was surprised when he texted me too. It didn't seem very like him. No shit. I don't think I'd want to give him the time of day if I were in your position. But this isn't about me. What about you? Do you want to see him? I'm not sure. Noah frowned, his interwoven fingers resting on his thighs. I've been thinking about it, turning over our relationship in my head. I know we never got along. He was always an insufferable prick to me. That's something of an understatement. But he sounded sincere enough in that dream. I don't know if he remembers everything that happened, but it might be a good basis for a talk. I think we've been overdue one. Yeah, one without your parents involved at all. I'm still saying that your parents pit you guys against each other for some fucking reason. And they're the reason that you both hated each other. I'm gonna die on this hill. Just like his parents died. Haha. Well, yeah, you're overdue by a good few years, I'd reckon. If he didn't care to talk to you earlier, I'm not sure why he'd want to now. I can't imagine Asher, of all people, having a change of heart. Me neither. But I couldn't imagine my perfect older brother failing any classes or forgetting to pay the rent either. True, there is that. So, did you reply to him? Not yet. I wanted to think over my options. I'm leaning towards yes, though. There's a lot I want to say to him. And who knows? He might know something about all of this, or maybe he knows somebody who does. Daisy sounded like she knew her stuff. Kaine frowned. I see where you're coming from, but I wouldn't want to put too much of my faith in Asher. He'll only end up disappointing you. Please. Noah sighed. You don't need to tell me that. I'm well aware this is probably going to go badly. Well, as long as you're aware. I'd hate for you to put too much stock in this dream, only for him to act like his usual unpleasant self when you see him again. It's best not to get your hopes up when he's involved. I know. I'm the one who had to grow up with him. You told me enough about his antics over the years. That was only the tip of the iceberg. Did he do worse than tossing your shit into the river? He did all sorts of things. Grand gestures like that weren't too common, but he always treated me like I was worse than trash. I guess he wasn't wrong about that, at least. You're plenty, Noah. It's not easy living with somebody who's determined to whittle down your self-esteem. And I had to deal with 3 of them. And you still want to see him despite all of that? I feel like I have to. I've been letting things slide for too long. Maybe I should stop running from the past. Isn't that what you wanted? I've only ever wanted you to be happy, Noah. And I don't think you've been running from the past. I think you've been dwelling in it. Spot on, Kaine, spot on. I don't see how seeing Asher now, after all this time, would help. Then you think it's a bad idea? If you were asking for my opinion, I'd say it's a bad idea. But your life is your own. I can't make that decision for you. Kaine relented after a pause. You have to live it as you see fit. I can't tell you what to do, and I wouldn't want to either. You don't need my approval to make your own decisions. Of course not. I am an adult. Though I sometimes wonder whether you realize it. Noah, you don't really give him much room to think otherwise, so... Yes, of course you are. Kaine exhaled, and though he did not say much, Noah had to wonder if there was an unspoken, you don't always act like it, lingering beneath Kaine's inscrutable expression. Yep. I know how things are between you and Asher, though. Some of the things he said to you. Hell, some of the things he did to you. Kaine frowned. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, let alone my own brother. How he could treat you like that is a mystery. I don't think it's that mysterious, really. Oh? Noah shook his head. The answer is simple. He's an asshole, like you said. Always had been. Heh. Wryly, Kaine smiled. On that point, at least, we're in agreement. I thought you'd be all for it. It'll get me out of the house, at least. Yes, and back to your old place. I doubt there are many good memories there. Noah did not fail to note the way Kaine said his brother's name, as though he were speaking of a particularly nasty infestation of cockroaches. There was something reassuring about it. Asher had always been their parents' golden child. It was nice to know that Kaine, at least, could see past all of that bullshit. Thank you for the check-in. Will you really be okay with being back there alone? I won't know unless I try, I guess. Let me come with you. If nothing else, I have a car, and it'll make the whole trip a lot more bearable for you. Huh? Noah, who had not expected the suggestion, sat in shock. Please say yes. Please say yes. Are you being serious? Or at least give me the choice to say yes. I hope so. Why wouldn't I be serious? This is a serious situation. I don't think Asher would actually hurt you, but I feel like having somebody by your side will make it easier on you. Oh, big stretch. Yeah, I need that for sure. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, God, it has been 5 hours. Jesus Christ. Last time I looked at it, it was like 3. Oh. Oh, my neck. Okay. Woof. Okay. We're good now. I feel human again. Thank you for that. It's a serious situation. I don't think Asher would actually hurt you, but I feel like having somebody by your side will make it easier on you. Having me around might compel him to act like a semi-decent human being for a change, too. He always cared about appearances, didn't he? It seems unlikely he'll try anything too unpleasant if there's a witness around. I'd like to think I could keep him in check. The thought's appreciated, but what about your job? I thought you had a lot of responsibilities. Is that really something you can hand wave so you can come with me to the middle of nowhere? It'll be fine. Kaine replied with a literal wave of his hand, as if to brush aside Noah's earlier inquiry. I should probably move around a bit, yeah. Ugh. I'm like that when I read anything, really. I read on my phone all the time. I read like a lot of manhwa on my phone. And I'll just be sitting there like, oh, I'll just read like a couple chapters. And then like 30 chapters in and I haven't moved for like 2 hours. And I'm like, oh shit. No wonder my knees hurt. Kaine replied with a literal wave of his hand. Uh-huh. This probably won't come as a surprise, but I'm a model employee in each and every regard. I've never once been late. I do a lot of overtime, and I've not taken a single sick day all year. You really are a perfect person. It's enough to make me wonder why you bother spending time with me at all. Because he loves you. Loves you. Yeesh. Get it through your thick skull. I don't know about perfect, but I try my best. Kaine replied with a wry smile, running one hand as he did through his hair. I do have quite a lot of goodwill banked up as a result, and I have a lot of paid leave I can take. I don't think my boss will mind if I put in a request for a holiday. Taking a week off should be fine. That's still a week you could be in the office. If it's paid leave, I don't have to worry about it. A week I'd rather spend with you, especially if you're going back to our hometown. I've not been there in ages either. It might be nice to go back, see the sights, catch up with some people. You make it sound like a fun vacation. People are dying, Kaine. I know that. I guess I'm just trying to see the positive side of all this. If you can see any positives to this, you're a damn sight more optimistic than I am. Well, I already knew that. I think we all knew that. Kaine grinned while Noah frowned. All of a sudden, he felt rather exhausted. He had not planned to take Kaine with him on his trip, but he no longer had the energy to try and fight with him. What was the point? Kaine might have been a model employee, but as far as friends went, he was incredibly stubborn. Kaine's stubborn streak had often annoyed Noah in the past. But it's probably a good thing he's like this. If he wasn't, he would never have put up with me for so long. Alright, you can come with me, I guess. I don't think Asher will be pleased. But he's never pleased about anything. Why are you doing all this for me, though? Isn't it a pain? Noah, please. Spending time with you is never a pain. Noah did not reply to this blatant lie. Instead, he raised an eyebrow which made Kaine chuckle. Alright. Spending time with you isn't always the easiest thing in the world. But the most fulfilling thing in life, or the most fulfilling things in life, aren't. Besides, we're friends. We're in this together. As crazy as all of this is. If you find yourself in over your head, you need somebody to haul you back. I'm sure you do the same for me. I think you're putting a bit too much faith in me. Noah pressed his lips together and shook his head. I can tell you won't back down on this. Good, I'm glad my persistence finally paid off. But you ought to be careful. Of Asher, you mean? Him too. But there's something strange about all of this dream stuff. Beyond the obvious, I mean. Such as? I realized it earlier today when I was looking through that yearbook you got for me. All of the people who have been dying. They're all related to me in some way or another. I thought it might have been a coincidence at first, but with my parents, then Sebastian, it feels deliberate somehow. I didn't notice that. You really are smart sometimes, aren't you? Just throw in a compliment there. Compliment for the boo. Very rarely. Hey, I remember that 98 you got back in high school. What the? How can you remember something like that? I guess it's not only my looks that are fantastic, but my memory too. But back to the whole dream thing. Kaine frowned. Do you think somebody is targeting you? I don't really think I'm important enough for someone to bother, but it's possible. I don't know who's behind this, or what their end goal is, but if they are targeting people I know, you could be next. There aren't many people out there who know me better than you do. Heh, he likes hearing that. We're being serious, but at the same time, it's like, you're like the most important person to me. Kaine grinned. You mean to say you're worried about me? Should I not be? No, I'm not saying that. I'm flattered, actually, that you care that much. But it feels like a bit of a role reversal. Usually, I'm the one who worries about you. You know, you don't have to treat me like a charity case. I can take care of myself. And yet, despite your claims, you've done a shockingly poor job at it. Just because I can take care of myself doesn't mean I want to. Which means somebody else has to step in. Aren't you fortunate you have such a considerate best friend? Kaine nudged Noah in the shoulder, albeit gently. He did not use as much pressure as he would have in the past, when they were in high school. Too much time has passed since then, and the easy physicality of their past friendship has dwindled. Oh, oop, yeah. Though Kaine still smiled around Noah, even his smile seemed somewhat guarded. The distance between them must have been, or might have been shrinking, but the relationship was still strained. Was it possible for things to return the way that they were? He is definitely sending the subliminals. I would also argue that he's sending the non-subliminals. He's like shouting it from the rooftops as far as I'm concerned. Noah just can't fucking see the signs. Kaine hired a fucking airplane with a big ol' flapping sign behind it saying, I'm in love with you, and Noah's just not looking up. Was it possible for things to return the way that they were? I'd be lying if I said I didn't have some concerns about this, but that's all the more reason for me to stick with you. Though it does occur to me that that all of the people we've been caught up in these dreams. My brain died again. Oh boy. Though it does occur to me that all of the people who have been caught up in these dreams weren't the nicest to you, and that's an understatement. I'm confident that I've only ever been good to you, or been a good friend to you, though. Maybe that counts for something? Noah fell silent, his expression pensive. He still had no idea who was behind the events of the last few weeks, but Kaine did raise a good point. Noah had been on poor terms with his parents, and Sebastian had bullied him in school. Then there was Mr. Floyd, who had betrayed Noah's trust, and Asher, who had always been an asshole. These people were all related to Noah, but they had done nothing except cause him pain, both in the past and the present. Was that another point of connection between them? Could some meaning be gleaned from it? Noah was unsure. He didn't have enough information. With some luck, however, this would be rectified after returning to his hometown with Kaine in tow. You know, I just thought of something. What? If there's one person I wouldn't mind getting caught up in all of this, it's Luca. Luca? Now there's a name I've not heard in a long time. It was a name Noah had tried not to think about too. Nothing good has ever come from associating with Luca Bellworth. Yeah, that guy was an ass. If anybody deserved to get shut away in a cell, it's that guy. I doubt he'd dream about being in a cell. He never struck me as the penitent sort. Knowing him, not that I did much know or want to know him, he'd be sort of a lord, oppressing all the peasantry. He always used to act like the world owed him a living, and that was back in school. It was so long ago now, I'm not used to thinking about it so much. Sorry, all of this talk about going back home must have got me thinking. It's fine, I've been doing a lot of thinking too. Though not about Luca. The less I have to think about him, the better. Seriously, fuck that guy. There was little point in dwelling, however, on Luca. It had been years since Noah had last seen him. Years, too, since he had last thought of him. It was strange that Kaine could still recall him when he had been more persistent thorn in Noah's side. Noah wasn't aware that the two had any kind of relationship. Noah, my boy, you're so fucking blind. When it comes to you, he remembers everything. He loves you. Ah! Just take a bite out of Noah. God damn. You're so fucking blind. Anyway, you're set on coming with me? Dead set. I've already made up my mind. Hell, I'd offer to drive you back if I didn't have some work that needs wrapping up back in the office. For real. It's a mess. Will it take a while? Not too long. I should be done in a couple of days. Then there shouldn't be anything stopping me from taking a bit of a much-deserved leave. But until then, Kaine frowned. He seemed to be grappling with the decision for a few moments. Noah could practically hear the gears in his mind ticking before he spoke. Yes, I was hoping he would say that. Yes. Do you want to stay at my place for a bit? Your place? Kaine nodded. We've already established the people being targeted in your dreams are related to you. It could be a coincidence, even if it is, as you said, unlikely, but I don't want to take any chances. I believe in safety in numbers, and I think you'll be better off with me. I'd rather not leave you on your own. Noah fell silent. It was a sweet sentiment, he supposed, but... These attacks aren't happening in the real world, though. If I get dragged into more dreams, it doesn't matter where my physical body is. You still won't be able to protect me. I know, the killer, whoever they are, has to have a physical form. There's no reason why they couldn't hunt you down. If that did happen, I'd rather be around. It would be good for my own peace of mind, if nothing else, and I don't trust that Ivan. You said he'd been hanging around you lately? He's more or less moved into my place. He's being persistent. So, a complete stranger shacks up with you and refuses to leave. Around about the same time all of these people start dying? Great, that's not at all suspicious. Do you suspect Ivan? I think it would be foolish not to, the circumstantial evidence being what it is. Once more, Noah fell silent. He supposed Kaine did have a point, and again, I'm not sure if I am convinced that Ivan is a suspect, but it would be dumb not to suspect him, especially since he has the fucking vine pattern on his body. So like, what? And Noah said it himself earlier that he's like very fucking suspicious. He's suspect number one. He supposed Kaine did have a point. He had thought about Ivan's sudden appearance had been suspicious, that's what I'm saying, especially given the timing of it. His involvement in the current going-ons was indisputable. Just how involved he was, however, was more of a mystery. Oh, it's not even like a fucking question. Okay, I want to come with you. Alright, I see where you're coming from. I can't say I care too much what might happen to me, but it's obvious Kaine does. I've made him worry enough already, so... If it'll make you feel any better, I can come with you. It's fine. And now you say that as though you're doing me a favor. I wish you cared about yourself a bit more. Kaine's voice trailed off. Then he sighed. He had been smiling with Noah earlier while they had been speaking, and once he had even chuckled. His smiles had disappeared now, however. Noah might have accepted Kaine's invitation, but he still did not look happy about it. His brow was furrowed, his expression stony. Noah could not read it. He had no idea what Kaine was thinking in that instant. And this thought was far more unnerving than Noah had ever imagined it might be. The two wound back through the park, retracting Noah's steps back to his apartment. There's Ivan. Jesus Christ, Noah, what happened to your place? I can answer that. Pick me, pick me. Ivan had been reclining lazily on the couch when Noah returned to his apartment, Kaine in tow, as though he owned the place. Ivan sat himself up just slightly, however, when the door opened. He looked at Kaine, who was framed in the doorway. Noah happened to this place. That's the kind of person he is. I respect that. Well, I figured as much. I've gotten used to this place being a bit of a disaster, but this... Kaine eyed the cardboard boxes which were scattered across the floor. It's even worse than I thought. Well, I'm sorry for not picking up after myself, mother. I've had a few things on my mind lately. Things such as that asshole over there. Kaine shot Ivan a pointed look, but it didn't seem to disturb him in the slightest. If he wants to get distracted with me, that's his decision. Here I thought you were a polite person. Being rude in someone else's house isn't very polite, is it? Says the guy who just fucking moved himself in. Yeah, this isn't your house, asshole. What you're doing is illegal. So, what are you gonna do? Report me to the police? I could. I think you deserve it too. Why the hell have you been hanging around Noah so much lately? Because I want to. He's fun. Yeah, right. Be serious. I am being serious. He piqued my interest. Stop searching for answers where there are none. Sounds about right, honestly. You know me so well already. No, I barely know you at all. That's the problem. Why does it matter? Oh, Lord. Look, you have your secrets. I have mine. I don't owe you shit, and you don't owe me shit. That's how relationships should work, don't you think? You owe Noah a lot. You've been sleeping in his house free of charge. Ivan simply shrugged. Then I'll leave. Noah's lost, really. Can I really let him just leave? He knows so much about dreams. Not that he's telling you any of that. Hope you can solve all this yourself. I'm glad you're finally deciding to be decent. Shoot. Kaine had already begun to sort out Noah's critical box situation, but he paused just long enough to wave a dismissive hand in Ivan's direction. Shoo, do I look like a stray cat to you? Yes. Yes, we established that already. You're a fucking cat. It's better to be a stray cat than a criminal, which is what you are. Sounds to me like you're having a hard time looking in the mirror. What are you talking about? You left Noah seven calls. 7? Isn't that borderline harassment? Stalking's a crime too, you know? Oh, for fuck's sake, Ivan. You are, like, pulling at straws. How am I a stalker? We're both friends. That doesn't preclude you from being a stalker. Most crimes are committed, you know, by people the victims are close to. You fucking asshole, get the hell out of here already. You're the one who broke in here. You're pathetic. You're so jealous, aren't you? You want Noah all to yourself, and you're too scared to tell him that. Okay, Ivan has him there. That's probably true. That's probably what, like, a lot is, like, fueling this. Yeah, he really is saying the shit. Oh my god. Ivan, I want to strangle you. You're right in this account. Right here. Not the pathetic part, but the jealous part, yes. But Ivan ain't making it, like, easy to not be. He's just fucking, he, like, riles you up. Because he's an asshole. All I want is for you to stay away from him, you piece of shit. Hey, you two. Noah had been filling a rucksack with the bare essentials he would need while staying with Kaine. But Kaine and Ivan's arguing was beginning to grate on him. There was something incredibly petty about the whole thing. I thought they were both supposed to be adults. They're acting just like kids. Can you guys either stop it or go fight outside? You're going to give me a headache. Right. Sure. Sorry about that, Noah. If he could stop being such an asshole, then it'd be much easier to ignore him. Just ignore me anyway. It's not my problem if I get under your skin. How about you just change your behavior? Why should I? Other people's feelings are their own concern, not mine. Oh, this guy. Ivan looked at Noah curiously, his legs crossed, watching him as he quickly packed a bag. You're going? For a bit. There's some things I need to do. Sorry. What's there to be sorry for? We're not friends. I don't care what you do. Then why the fuck are you living in his house? Noah, why are you letting him? I don't care if he knows anything. He's not telling you anything, so what the fuck does it matter? We're not friends, but I still am curious about you. I'd like to know the idea of you disappearing. Or I don't like the idea of you disappearing. But it is sudden. It's none of your goddamn business. So? It means you should stop trying to butt into things that have nothing to do with you. I'll do whatever I want. You don't control me or Noah, even if you'd like to. You. Kaine grumbled, still in the process of stuffing Noah's discarded belongings back into the cardboard boxes which littered the floor. It's not about control, it's about common decency, which you seem to be lacking in. What you think is common decency, the next person might not. Why should I live up to your made-up standards? Oh, Ivan's kind of pissing me off. What's this world do for me, or you, or Noah that makes you think you have to live your entire life to some invisible set of rules? For real, not breaking into people's houses isn't a huge ask. For you, honestly, I really am going to call the police. I wonder which of us is really a criminal here. Kaine isn't a fucking criminal. He's a guy worried about his friend who's in a major depressive state, worried that he might have, killed himself when he wasn't responding. I mean, for fuck's sake. Ivan, shut the fuck up. You are. I don't know anything about you. You could be anyone. Yeah, could be. Would it make you feel better if I told you my 3 sizes? What? Don't be ridiculous. It looks like they're arguing again. Noah, sensing the situation would continue to deteriorate if he didn't say anything, spoke up. He didn't much want to get embroiled in Kaine and Ivan's petty squabbling, but he wanted to listen to them bicker even less. Kaine's behavior was so divorced from the usual, it was almost remarkable, especially given how mature he fancied himself. Ivan must have brought it out of him. Like 2 unstable chemicals mixed in a test tube. The resultant reaction was nothing short of explosive. Alright, you two, let's not start on this again. What did I just say about giving me a headache? Shit, sorry. Kaine cursed, then shot Noah an apologetic look. It's alright, let's just get everything packed up quickly. Better to get away from this guy and his influence. I'm not influencing anything. Noah makes his own choices. Again, says the guy who dragged him out of the house and then forced him into a dream. He finished packing his belongings while Kaine tried to tidy up his apartment. It was a lost cause, really, even if he did manage to pack the scattered miscellany back into their boxes. A bit of spring cleaning couldn't right years' worth of neglect. Noah supposed it was the thought that counted. Kaine had always been thoughtful, if nothing else. Right, I think I have everything. You have your pajamas? Noah nodded. Spare clothes? Another nod. Your toothbrush? Kaine, please, I'm not a child. You don't need to baby me. You sure? Shut up, nobody asked you. Hurry up and leave. Why, if you're both leaving, no point in this place staying empty. Hey, wait, hold the phone. You can't just stay here. I mean, Kaine's the one who fucking pays the bills for this place. He has more of a right to say whether or not you can stay than anybody else. Why? I don't have anywhere else to go. We aren't all lucky enough to have wealthy friends who are willing to whisk us away. Now, most people aren't lucky enough to crash in people's apartments uninvited. I'm stunned Noah didn't kick you out earlier. That was his choice. Well, now I'm telling you there's no chance that you're staying here. Ha! I don't care how much you want to act like you run the place. I don't care how much you hate me. What I do has nothing to do with you. What Noah decides has nothing to do with you. Stop acting like you're more important than you are. Kaine, please. Noah, who was now feeling exhausted, rested a hand on Kaine's shoulder. Let it go. Huh? Kaine wheeled about to face Noah, his expression incredulous. You aren't going to let him stay here, are you? Surely you're not being serious. Well, he hasn't caused any problems so far. I'm sure it'll be fine. Maybe. Ivan shrugged. This fucking guy, yeah. Ooh. He gets under my skin. He gets under my skin. Maybe he has a really nice romance story, but right now, in Kaine's story, he's pissing me off. Oh, God. Mister, I don't care about anything or anyone, but let me just, like, poke at everybody and piss people off. Ooh. Okay. Let's get out of this scene so I can fucking leave Ivan alone. Ivan shrugged, and Noah felt his razor-thin confidence in the man diminishing even further. Kaine wrinkled his nose. I don't understand why you've put up with this guy for so long. But this is your apartment. If you're alright with it, I'll let it slide, I guess. How kind of you, allowing someone to stay in an apartment that isn't your own. Oh, cut the crap. You're on thin ice already without being such an ass. Noah might not have any problems with you, but I wouldn't mind kicking you to the curb. Noah glanced between Kaine and Ivan, his rucksack looped over his one shoulder. He was unsure how much he trusted Ivan himself, seeing as he barely knew the man. But Ivan was right on at least one score. He hadn't made too much mess while he had been staying with him. Not that this was a great feat, given how messy Noah's apartment had been already. His company hadn't been as unbearable as it could have been, however. I don't know. It's pretty unbearable to me. I'm definitely going to be eating something after this. He was no Luca. It's fine. You can stay if you want. I don't have the energy to kick you out. If you stay here, then I know where you are. If you're involved in all of this, I don't want you disappearing on me. Too bad for you, Kaine. Shut the fuck up. Kaine surveyed Ivan mutely for a few moments, a vein standing out at his temple. He grit his teeth together. Then, with a sigh of long suffering, he turned around. Oh, whatever. Had enough of this. Let's go. Yes, please, let's get the fuck out of here. The sky was dark as Noah and Kaine left the apartment behind, and a cool wind seemed to be pushing Noah onwards. Encouraging him, helping him, letting him know that he was going in the right direction. At least, that's how it felt. Perhaps it was just a normal breeze. The car ride was long over to Kaine's apartment, despite the fact that he didn't live that far away. The traffic from people coming home from work was immense, but Noah just used the opportunity to look at the stars in the night sky. The stars weren't the same here as back at home. There they shine so bright it almost hurt his eyes. Here, it was a dull light. Whew. Yes, we're alone with Kaine. I can finally be happy. Jesus Christ. And here we are, home sweet home. Noah crossed the threshold first, at Kaine's insistence, then looked about. Kaine had lived in this apartment for several years, but Noah had never come here before. Damn, he's got quite the view. Sheesh. Yeah, we're with the right man. I'm gonna say that right now. We're with the right man right now. Kaine visited him more times than he could count in his small, shabby apartment full of broken canvases, but Noah had never repaid the favor. That wasn't, however, for lack of trying on Kaine's part. Kaine had invited Noah to his apartment multiple times, sounding just a bit more desperate with each foiled attempt. Noah had never taken Kaine up on his offer, however. He hadn't wanted to. He simply hadn't been interested, a point of view which had endured during the unbearably long years which had followed August's death. Why bother going out? Why spend time with Kaine? Why do anything, really, other than sit indoors and rot? Nothing he did would bring August back. Noah had not known, therefore, just how plush Kaine's apartment was, though he supposed he could have guessed. Kaine did have a good job. Or at least Noah thought he did. Kaine was doing better for himself, at least, than Noah was, a fact which was revealed by his home alone. Kaine's apartment, though spacious, was open plan. The bedroom, living room, and kitchen area rolled into one. It was only the bedroom or the bathroom which was separate from everything else, though it too was similarly large. Kaine's bathroom boasted a large tub which was spotlessly clean, much like everything else in Kaine's apartment. Every square inch of Kaine's apartment, as far as Noah could see, was immaculate, so much so it reminded him of a hotel. If it weren't for the telltale signs of human life dotted here and there, the books and the framed photographs on the shelves, you would think it was a hotel room. That, or a showroom. Noah's own apartment couldn't hope to compare. It was horrendously messy, with unfinished canvases, bottles of paint, stray brushes, and now cardboard boxes. Noah felt almost as if he had stepped into a different world. It was disconcerting. So, that's about everything. Kaine announced, once he had given Noah the grand tour, a tour which consisted of demonstrating how to run the bath, how to run the shower, and how to work the kettle in the kitchen. You're free to go anywhere you want, of course, so, make yourself at home. Oh, look at his precious face. Kaine, I'm gonna get you your man. I promise you this. I promise. Your heart will break no longer, as far as I'm concerned. God, okay. Kaine finished his introductory speech with a question, his smile somewhat bashful. Was he feeling awkward too? If so, there was something reassuring about that. I don't have a what? A tillier? I don't even know what that is. A tillier? Unfortunately, so there's no dedicated space you can go to paint, but you could set yourself up on the balcony. I don't mind if you get that dirty. I'm not that messy when I paint. I'm a little past the finger painting stage, you know. I know. I was just saying that if you want anywhere quiet to go. Kaine gestured to the balcony. But I didn't bring my paints with me. I thought they'd be the first thing you packed. Well, you can always sketch out there if you want. The view is pretty nice. Or you could just, I don't know, enjoy the sights. Maybe get some fresh air? What is it with you and fresh air? Noah sighed. You're obsessed with it lately. Only because you don't get enough of it. I'm worried about you, you know? I know. You make it very obvious. He makes a lot very obvious that you don't fucking see. Drives me insane. Is that a bad thing? For you, maybe. For me, I'd say I'm fairly lucky, really. Well, I'm glad you think so. I do my best. Unlike me. Noah looked down at his feet. All of a sudden, he felt rather overwhelmed. Not by Kaine's apartment, even if it was a little too fancy, but by Kaine's excessive kindness. Why was Kaine always so kind to him? Really? Really? I don't think I've done anything to deserve it. Unless he just pities me? No, we're not gonna go here with the pity. I know we used to be close, but what do we have linking us anymore? Hey, Kaine, it's getting pretty late. I was thinking about having a bath. Would you mind? Of course not. You don't even need to ask. I am a guest. You're more than just a guest. You're my friend. My best friend at that. There's no need to ask. Treat it as your own place. Well, I should have figured he'd say something like that. Noah thanked Kaine, then gathered his pajamas from his rucksack. He headed over to the bathroom. The sink was so clean, Noah could see his own face reflected in it. Noah wondered for a second if Kaine even used it. The tub was large enough to unwind in, but Noah reclined in the warm water for only a few brief minutes. His own apartment wasn't large enough to have a bathtub, but it wasn't a commodity he had really missed. Taking baths gave him too much time to think, and his thoughts always, invariably, turned to August. Not wanting to dwell any longer on the past, Noah exited the tub. Did you even scrub? Did you wash your hair? Did you do anything? He toweled himself dry and changed into his nightclothes. Then, trailing droplets of water in his wake, he entered the open-plan living area. Kaine was there, reclining on the couch with a book in hand. He always looked like that, like he perfectly belonged. In this case, he did belong, seeing as it was his home, but it was something Noah had always noticed. Kaine always fit in. Kaine set aside his book, however, when Noah entered and smiled at him. How do you feel? Any better? Tired, mostly. Fair enough, you've had a busy day. And a busy series of nights, too. Do you want to go to sleep? That was the idea, yeah. Noah looked at Kaine's bed hesitantly. There was only one bed. Yeah. Noah was tired, and Kaine's bed looked inviting. Its sheets were pristine, the pillows soft, enough space for a handsome man to lay right next to him. To cuddle. The thought of sliding beneath those sheets, then sliding his eyelids shut, was a tempting one. But there was something of a problem. I see no problem. It's happening. Yes. Yep, there it is. There was only one bed. Kaine's bed was large enough for 2 people. It was a double, and there wouldn't, Noah supposed, have been too much of a squeeze. Kaine was expecting them to share it? Well, it wouldn't be the first time. We've had sleepovers as kids countless times. It wouldn't be anything new, but Noah tried to tell himself the intimacy was nothing meaningful, but he couldn't quite manage it. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He had shared a bed with Kaine in the past, it was true, but this had been years ago. They had been teenagers back then. Hey, Kaine. Let us love you, please, for the love of Christ. Not wanting to draw out the inevitable, Noah addressed his friend, perhaps a touch more curtly than he should have. Do you want me to sleep on the couch? What? No, of course not. I invited you over. You take the bed. It's only fair. Please feel free. I'm just happy you're here. Where will you sleep, though? I'm already settled here. Kaine patted the couch, smiling wryly as he did so. Oh, he's such a gentleman. I want a Kaine. I want to love Kaine. Fucking Noah. Noah! Get your shit together! So yeah, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Will that really be comfortable, though? It's more comfy than the floor. I don't know if it'll be much better for your back. Noah pressed his lips together. You have work tomorrow. I'm sure I'll sleep just fine. I bet I'll do a better job of it tonight, at least, now that you're around. It'll spare me a lot of stress. Have you been stressed about me? Was a question Noah wanted to ask. He soon swallowed it, however. He already knew the answer. Alright. Noah, realizing he had been beaten, agreed to Kaine's demands. I'll take the bed then. Just don't complain to me tomorrow if you wake up with a crick in your neck. Ha! Kaine chuckled. What do you take me for exactly? I'm not a geriatric. I'll be fine. I mean, you are getting kind of old. Then so are you. You bitch. Yeah, but I'm not sleeping on the couch. I think I see you on your couch more than your bedroom in your place. Okay, fair. Noah approached the bed and slid up beneath the covers, feeling oddly exposed as he did. Kaine was only a few paces away, still sitting on the couch, watching him. What was he thinking? His expression was impossible to read. Kaine watched as Noah made himself comfortable, then smiled. Sweet dreams, Noah. Is what I would say, but given the circumstances, that might sound a bit sarcastic. Just a bit, maybe. I figured. Sorry about that, it wasn't intentional. I know, you don't need to worry so much, about hurting my feelings. I'm not that delicate. Right, of course you're not. Good night? Night. Kaine turned back to his book while Noah rolled over on his side. Kaine's apartment felt unsettlingly large, all of a sudden, almost as if it was swallowing him. Swallowed, huh? Maybe I got too used to living in a dump. Noah curled in on his side, his eyes staring blankly at the wall opposite. Sharing a room with Kaine wasn't uncomfortable. He was just unused to such a close proximity to a real person. Minus Ivan, of course, but sometimes Noah wasn't sure if he was real. Unfortunately, he is. Again, he could have a great story, but I still am pissed at him. Kaine was so close, only a few paces away. It would have been easy to invite Kaine to join him after all. Beneath the sheets. Oh, he's blushing. He's blushing. He's thinking. He's thinking about it. We need a Brokeback Mountain moment to tell him he's gonna get cold unless you cuddle. You're correct. But Noah soon dismissed the thought. Don't dismiss it, baby. Don't dismiss it. You can share. You can cuddle. It'd probably help you sleep better. He needed some more space. Kaine felt too close as it was, both physically and emotionally, for him to grapple with. But perhaps he should have been grateful for it. He was fortunate, really, that Kaine still cared for him, despite how poorly he had been treated. Didn't Kaine deserve more than that? He's never asked for more, though. I wonder. Doesn't he think he deserves more than that? Maybe he has low standards. These self-deprecating thoughts swirled through Noah's head as he closed his eyes. Then, with more ease than he thought possible, given everything which had occurred, he fell fast asleep. Oh, and we slept through the night. I think I'll save it right here, though. Yeah. And then overwrite. Yes. Okay. We've officially saved. Alright, we'll call it a night here. It is almost 5 o'clock in the morning for me. Ooh boy. And close. There we go. Alright, jump over to just chatting. Alrighty. I will close my browser real quick. Just get that out of the way. Or, actually, hold on. I'm gonna open Twitch now. And we're gonna see who is even awake and alive at this time to raid. Who's out there? Who's still breathing? Quite a few people, actually. We did Socks the Gob last week. As always, I kind of like to see if there's anybody out there. Oh, 6 a.m. for you. Oof. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, boy. Anybody playing Love and Deep Space? Usually not. Nope. Of course not. Okay, what if I said visual novel for the tag? Anybody doing that? Someone's playing Doki Doki. Another person is eating. Oh, okay. Are you in the visual novel tag? Voice acting simulation. I always get a little scared at the idea of rating to somebody I don't know. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Let me close this for a second. Sometimes this doesn't show everybody that's on, so let's see. Nope, that's pretty much everybody that is on. Okay, noted. Where'd it go? I lost it. It was fun meeting you too, and I'm very, very happy that you were able to find my stream. It was nice to have somebody all the way to the end. We're gonna raid into Hitaika. He's like a Tanuki VTuber. He's really sweet. I've raided it to him before when he was playing Baldur's Gate 3. This time he's playing... What is he playing? What is this? Sekiro? I think it's Sekiro. Yeah. Alright, I'll get the raid messages up. Raid message. Pick your poison. Whichever one you can use. Animated, static, or just normal. You have a good night too. And I'll get the raid started. Alright. We're almost there. Da-da-da-da. Okay. I'll get that raid going, and thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully around 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. As long as nothing goes wrong, we'll see. We'll see. I love you. Bye-bye. Mwah.